Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Berry, family physician with almost 20 years of clinical experience. And in this video, I want to discuss with you a very simple diet that you can do that is going to help you burn fat faster than probably any other diet you've ever tried. Everyone's trying to sell you a weight loss program or a supplement or some pills or a gym membership. In reality, all of these things are, at least in part, a waste of time and a waste of your hard-earned money. Watch this video until the end because I'm going to tell you literally everything involved in burning fat. Because the reality of the situation is you don't actually want to lose weight, which is what we all say. What you want to do is burn fat. You want to burn fat as quickly as is healthily possible, but also you don't want to suffer. You don't want to be hungry. You don't want to be starving all the time. This simple diet is going to help you do that. While you're doing any diet, the two biggest determinants of failure are how miserable you are, how hungry you are, how fatigued you are, and how much you just miss eating food. This simple diet is going to alleviate all of those problems, which will make this simple diet something that you can start easily and sustain indefinitely. Every other diet you've ever tried was probably a calorie restriction diet. Now, they may have used smoke screens like counting points or taking cards or any of this kind of stuff, but in reality, every major diet on the market today is a calorie restriction diet or a semi-starvation diet, which means you're going to be hungry and starving, and that's not sustainable long term. This diet is not like that at all. This diet is actually going to harken back to your physiology, to your hormones. It's going to optimize the 9 hormones that are involved in helping you burn fat and helping you to not suffer from hunger. Now, if this video sounds like something you'd really enjoy, please take 1 second and consider clicking the subscribe button and the little bell right beside it. That way, every time I have a bright idea like this in the future, you'll get a notification from YouTube and you'll be one of the very first people to know. Now, let's jump right in. I'm going to describe the 9 hormones. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. And then I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, what to eat, or what to avoid to optimize each individual hormone so that you have maximum fat burning and minimal hunger pain. Number 1, insulin. Now, insulin has hundreds of functions in your body, but it is the main fat storage hormone in the human body. And so I'm going to tell you how to optimize it so that you can burn as much fat as possible. So insulin's made in your pancreas and beta cells, and your body secretes it in response to an elevated blood sugar. There are certain things that elevate your blood sugar a lot. Other things don't really elevate it that much. And so you should focus on avoiding some and eating the others. Eating too much of the wrong thing is going to spike your blood sugar, which is going to cause a spike in your blood insulin level. And that's going to turn off any fat burning that you were hoping would occur. Now, how do you optimize your insulin level and return it back to a low normal level? That's the sweet spot for fat burning. You're going to reduce your total carbohydrate intake a day. Some people can reduce it down to 100 total grams of carbs a day, and that works great. Other people have to turn it down even more to 50 total grams. Some people even 20 or even lower. You, now that you know this, will be able to control your carbohydrate intake, almost like a knob on a radio. You can just turn it down, and that's going to put your insulin level in the sweet spot so that you can burn fat much faster. You need to avoid all sugars and anything that turns into sugar. And whether that is a jelly donut or a soda or a glass of fruit juice or bread or pasta or rice, all these things turn immediately into sugar in your system, spike your blood sugar, spike your insulin, and turn off your fat burning. You're going to replace all of those carbohydrates, which turn into sugar, with plenty of good healthy fats and good healthy proteins. You're also going to make sure that you get plenty of magnesium in your diet or with a supplement. Now, this may sound unbelievable, so I'm going to link to all the research studies that prove what I'm talking about in this video. So after this video is over, if you want to actually go and read the research itself, the links are all down below. A fun fact you may not know about me, I used to be a morbidly obese pre-diabetic, and I used this simple diet that I'm telling you about to reverse my pre-diabetes and return my body fat percentage to near normal. You can do that too. Hormone number 2 is leptin. Now this hormone is made in fat cells, and in cells in your small intestine. It reduces your appetite and it makes you feel full. To optimize leptin, you're going to avoid all inflammatory foods. And for most people, this is all the grains. This is industrial seed oils like canola, like soybean, like corn oil, like safflower oil, like margarine, like vegetable shortening. All those things are inflammatory and they're gonna mess your leptin level up. Also, you want to eat more fatty fish and more fatty animals. The fat and protein in these move your leptin in the right direction. The last thing you want to do to optimize your leptin is get plenty of good quality sleep. Hormone number 3 is ghrelin. This hormone is made in your stomach and in the small intestinal cells. It is a hunger hormone. It tells your brain, hey, you're hungry, it's time to eat. And so by optimizing this hormone in the right direction, you greatly reduce your hunger. Now, how are you going to optimize your ghrelin levels? You are going to avoid all sugars, and that can range anywhere from skim milk to a tortilla wrap to a jelly donut to 2 slices of whole wheat bread. They all turn into sugar, right? Secondly, you're going to get rid of all the breads. And so many people say, oh, this is low carb bread. Oh, this is whole wheat, stone ground, non-GMO bread. All bread breaks down into sugar. All rice, all potatoes, all grains break down into sugar. You have to avoid those to get your ghrelin in the sweet spot. You also want to make sure you're eating plenty of good healthy proteins and good healthy fats. That's going to also optimize your ghrelin level. Hormone number 4 is cortisol. Now, you may have heard of this. It's called the stress hormone. Cortisol, it does many hundreds of things in the human body. It's actually normal to have it. It's not a bad thing unless it's chronically elevated. Then that's a problem. If it's chronically elevated, this is going to cause you to overeat, cause you to stress eat, and cause you to store more fat. All bad things. How do you optimize your cortisol level? Number 1, you're not going to calorie restrict or eat smaller portions. This is stressful to your body and it causes your cortisol level to elevate. You're going to get plenty of good quality sleep. This will help your cortisol level be lower. You're also going to focus on removing chronic bad stressors from your life. Whether this is a terrible job you hate or a life partner that you can't stand to be around, you've got to fix these chronic negative stressors in order to get that cortisol level back into the sweet spot. Number 5 is estrogen. Now, many people think of this as just a female hormone. It's actually made in both the ovaries and the testes. It's a female and a male hormone. Females have much more estrogen on average than males. But if your estrogen level as a man or a woman is either too high or too low, it's going to cause you to overeat and it's going to cause you to store more fat. So how do you optimize your estrogen level? You're going to try to, if you eat a carbohydrate, you're going to try to make sure that it's a dark green leafy vegetable or a brassica or is contained in a seed or a nut. And again, the research links are down below if you have trouble believing that it's just this easy to do a simple diet like this and burn more fat. To optimize it, you're going to eat more dark leafy greens, you're going to eat lots of seeds and nuts, and you're going to engage in something called high intensity exercise. This can be lifting heavy things. This can be running fast. This can be playing tennis 100% all out. This can be swimming 100% at your capacity. Any of these things are going to move your estrogen level to the sweet spot. Now, as I move down this list of hormones, I'm moving kind of from the most important to lesser importance. Now, it doesn't mean you don't want to optimize all 9 of them, but you definitely want to focus on the top 3 and get those in the sweet spot as quickly as you can so that you can maximize your fat burning and minimize your hunger pains. Hormone number 6 is Neuropeptide Y. This hormone is made in the central nervous system, and it causes not only hunger, but it also causes carbohydrate cravings. Not a good thing if you're trying to burn fat. The way to optimize your Neuropeptide YY is to eat plenty of good, natural, 1-ingredient proteins and 1-ingredient fats. You want to never calorie restrict. If you're calorie restricting or eating smaller portion sizes, then you're not going to be putting your Neuropeptide Y in the sweet spot for the maximum fat burning. Also, for this hormone, again, like I talked about for cortisol, you want to minimize the chronic negative stressors in your life. You want to get plenty of good sleep so that you lower your stress level, and that's going to help put your Neuropeptide YY exactly where you want it to be to maximize fat burning. Number 7 is Glucagonlike peptide 1. This is made in certain cells in both the small intestine and the brain stem. It helps keep your blood sugar levels very stable, and it also helps you not feel hungry any more often than you should. How do you optimize your Glucagon-like peptide 1? You eat plenty of good proteins and plenty of good fats. Do you hear a recurring theme there? Avoid carbs, eat lots of protein and lots of fat. You're going to avoid inflammatory foods, and those are the grains, fat-free or skimmed dairy, and all the industrial seed oils that I talked about earlier. Now, good healthy animal fats will not mess up your GLP-1 hormone. Eating avocado oil, olive oil, any of the good healthy fats like that, coconut oil, they're not going to mess up your GLP-1 hormone either. But if you're eating canola, corn oil, soybean oil, peanut oil, any of the inflammatory omega-6 high fats that come from the factory, that's not going to put your glucagon-like peptide 1 in the sweet spot to optimize your fat burning or to keep you from feeling that gnawing hunger that makes you mess up your diet. Number 8 is cholecystokinin. This is a hormone that's made in the duodenum, the first part of your small intestine. It controls your appetite and your hunger, and it turns off your hunger if you get it in the sweet spot. How do you optimize your cholecystokinin? You do it by eating a lower carbohydrate diet than you've been eating. And like I said earlier, for some people, you can eat under 100 grams of total carbohydrates and burn fat just fine. Some of us, like me, for example, have to turn down that carbohydrate intake knob as close to 0 each day as we can get it in order to burn the fat in our belly and the fat on other places of our body that we're trying to burn up. You're also going to optimize your cholecystokinin by eating plenty of good quality proteins. And the final hormone, congratulations for making it this far. Number 9 is PeptideYY. This hormone, it's a peptide hormone. It's made in the ileum, which is the third part of your small intestine, and also in the colon. It controls your appetite, and it can also, if you get it in the sweet spot, turn off your hunger so you don't feel that gnawing hunger that makes you start looking for the carbohydrates. You optimize your PeptideYY by eating a low-carb diet and by eating more protein and fat. Do I sound like a broken record? I'm sorry, but that's how you burn fat, and that's how you escape from the chronic, severe, disabling fatigue and hunger that come with all the other calorie restriction diets. And I'll say for a third time, if you don't believe me, the research links are down in the show notes below. Now, the simple diet that optimizes all 9 of these hormones and puts them in the sweet spot for burning fat and turning off your hunger is called a ketogenic diet. Some people call it low carb, some people call it Atkins, but if you do it properly, it's full of healthy foods that give you all the nutrition, all the vitamins, all the minerals that you need, and you're happy, you're satiated, your hunger's gone, and it is sustainable to do long term. I've linked to a playlist, either here or here, I can never remember where it shows up, that contains 50 videos that explains this ketogenic diet in very simple language, in step 1, step 2, step 3 detail, so that you can do it right from day one. You don't need to buy any keto products to do this diet right. You just need to eat real, whole, ketogenic foods to get all the benefits that I talk about. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you missed something, if you missed one of the hormones, you can always watch this video again so that you can write all 9 hormones down. Do your own research. Don't blindly believe me, and definitely don't blindly believe any of the other people out there promoting calorie restriction diets or gym memberships. They're out to sell you something. If you know someone who just cannot burn the fat the way they want to, please click the share button. It's right down there below, and you can share it with them on your social media or in an email or even other ways. If you really enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And this is Dr. Barry, and I'll see you next time.